Hello guys, welcome to another video. So in this video, I'll be covering the topic of demand generation. It might seem very fancy to you, but as a marketer, I always want to explore this topic. And always whenever I get a new product or service to market, I always think about, hey, should I do demand generation for this or not? But I think a lot of new marketers don't know about the entire concept. Whenever I'm trying to pitch in the idea, they are like, I'm not sure what you mean by demand generation. So in this video, I'm trying to clear it out, right? So in my last newsletter that I sent, the topic of the newsletter was selling the unsellable, demand generation, and in which I tried to make you all understand about what demand generation exactly is, and also I gave you a really good example of one brand which actually executed it to the perfection. So let me start with what is demand generation. I'll give you two examples, starting with the first example. Think about yourself as a bottle, clean bottle water company, a company which is aggregating good clean water and putting it inside a bottle and selling it, right? So you have a supply. When it comes to marketing or business, there are two things. One is supply and one is demand. So supply means that you have a product or service that you can give it to people, right? And it's not everywhere. It's not like everyone has access to it. If it were, it wouldn't be of much value, right? If you are trying to sell, what you say, carbon dioxide or oxygen, not in medical context, but normally people are not going to buy it because the supply is so much, and it's available everywhere. You don't have to buy it, right? I'm not talking about particular applications or medical applications or chemical applications. I'm talking about layman day-to-day consumer point of view. But when it comes to clean water, there must be not everyone is providing clean water for free, right? So there is a need for a supply, and you're doing that. And on the side, uh, people are need to give you money and buy the water bottle, right? So for that, there is two things that are driving that demand. One is education. Education, what why I said education is that people need to have a basic knowledge that if they are not buying clean water or drinking clean water, they might get infected, right? And that's one thing. And the second thing is basic income. You need to have at least a very small amount of at least a small amount of income so that you can invest in clean water, right, when you're traveling or something. So that in this bottled water, clean water example, the demand is driven by education from preliminary schools, etc., and a basic income that most of the people has in a lot of countries, right? So here, a marketer doesn't play any role to create a demand. It's already, since it's a very basic need, it's already taught in schools and etc. It's a priority, right? So here you don't have to talk about the importance of clean water because the demand is already there, and then you can sell it. But if suddenly the local government or bodies decide that, hey, we are going to give the public free access to clean water via all the petrol pumps and all the access points that is accessible to the public, right? If I near me, I can just go 200 meters or 10 meters and I'll get a free bottled water. That means that government is supplying that, and the supply is surplus, and I don't need to pay for that, right? So it wouldn't make sense for you as a company to produce clean bottled water, and the demand has gone down because of the pricing thing, and it doesn't make business sense to for you to continue that. This demand has gone down in that sense. So that's a very basic idea. It talks about, you know basic need, right? But you might be asking, right, my product is not a basic need, etc. So I'm getting to that. So there was a client, or sorry, not a client, there was a company called Dolly Sock, and they wanted to sell four socks instead of two. In one buy, they wanted to sell four socks instead of two. So that wouldn't make much sense, right? Because um, humans are two-legged. People are not going to buy the same four socks, right? So it wouldn't be much fashionable. So, and it's also a want, it's not a need. People don't know that they want for socks. So as a marketer, they also thought that, hey, there is no demand for socks in the market, but they needed to create demand. Now is the uh, is when a marketer should think about demand generation. When the people don't know that they want their product, they should increase the demand by education or by entertainment or by some other means. Here, Dolly Sock did a brilliant stuff. They started a social media trend. They went on to TikTok and collaborated with influencers and utilized the paid platform, and created a challenge called Dilly Gallop Challenge. So the challenge is about, you know it's really fun. People want needed to put in socks on both of their arms and both of their legs, totaling four socks. And you can see the image here. And the trend was, they asked influencers to imitate a horse, and horses walk or run in four legs, right? So they had to put in four socks. So that became a huge trend on TikTok and generated 12.5 million views on TikTok, which eventually generated the demand, right? They created a trend on social media, which eventually created the demand in the market, and people wanted to buy those four socks so that they can create their own video and maybe get into the trend, etc., which eventually made the socks the eventually the sock gold got sold out, right? So initially there was no demand, nobody wanted to buy four socks at a time, and using a demand generation statics, they made the demand higher. And who is supplying that? Dolly Dilly socks, right? So they executed it perfectly. So this is an example of demand generation. I hope you understood. There are a lot of other examples. Maybe you can Google and do your research to find out more. And you can just hit the subscribe button on my channel, YouTube channel, and also I'll put my newsletters link in the description. You can also give it a subscribe. So if you want to receive stories like this to your directly to your Gmail, right? So yeah, if you have any other doubts, you can put it in the comments. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.